All right, so let's talk about something that looks incredibly simple on the surface, a PDF translator. We're going to dive in and see the incredible engineering hidden just underneath. You know, it's a tool a lot of us might use, but how often do we actually stop and think about how it pulls off what feels like, well, like magic?
So, you click Translate. What really happens next? That one little click kicks off this whole sophisticated, super high-speed journey for your document. It feels instantaneous, right? But it's actually this fascinating multi-step process that's going to transform your file from one language to another, all while keeping its look and feel totally intact.
Okay, so it all starts the moment you hit that upload button. But wait, before the system even thinks about looking at the content, it has to play the part of a bouncer at a club, you know? It performs a really quick but absolutely crucial security check.
The server immediately checks for two things. First, is this file too big? Anything over 200 megabytes is a no-go. And second, just as important, is this actually a real, valid, non-corrupted PDF? If your file gets the green light on both of those questions, then the gates swing open and the real work can finally begin.
So, the second your upload is confirmed, this dedicated background process, think of it like a digital assistant. It just takes over. And this is actually a really clever bit of design because it means your browser isn't just locked up, forcing you to wait. You're totally free to go do other things while this little assistant gets to work behind the scenes.
And what's this worker's first job? Deconstruction. I want you to think of it like a digital librarian who's carefully taking a book apart, page by page. It splits that single PDF you uploaded into a whole collection of individual pages. And then, for each of those pages, it meticulously pulls out every single block of text.
Now, the system isn't just, reading the words. It's actually creating a super detailed digital map of your entire document. So it's noting the page number, the text itself, but here is the absolutely critical part. It also records the exact location of every single piece of text on the page.
And this right here is the secret to keeping that original layout perfectly intact. By recording the precise coordinates, what engineers call a bounding box, or B-box for short, for every single text block, the system is creating a perfect blueprint. And that blueprint is the key to putting the puzzle back together perfectly later on. Okay, so the document is all mapped out. Now we've reached the brain of the whole operation, the translation itself. And you might think, okay, it just sends every piece of text off to some translation service. But that would be super slow and really expensive. Instead, it uses a much smarter two-path approach.
For every single block of text, the system first checks what we're calling the fast lane. That's its own local database. It's cache. It asks a really simple question. Hey, have I translated this exact phrase before? If the answer is yes, boom, the result is instant. It's only if the text is brand new that the system has to make what we're calling an expert call and reach out to the Google Translate API.
This cache is basically the system's translation memory. Think about it. For all those common phrases, headings, or sentences that it's definitely seen before, it finds a match and gets to completely skip that expensive, time-consuming external call. This single design choice right here is the real reason the whole process feels so incredibly fast.
But okay, what happens when that expert call is actually needed? Well, if a block of text isn't in the cache, the system reaches out to the Google Translate API. And it's not just for one or two languages. It's requesting the translation in any of its 13 supported languages, everything from French and Spanish to Korean and Thai.
And here is where you see this beautiful feedback loop kick in. Once the system gets a new translation back from that expert call, it doesn't just use it and toss it. No way. It immediately saves that result into its own cache. What does that mean? It means the entire system gets smarter and faster with every single document it processes. It will never have to ask for that same exact translation ever again.
So, believe it or not, getting the translated text is only half the battle. Now the system has to perform what is basically a kind of digital surgery, rebuilding your document page by page with the new text, while making sure that original formatting stays perfect.
Remember those coordinates it saved earlier? Well, this is where they come in. The system goes to the location of the original text and pretty much just draws an invisible white box right over it. It's like digital whiteout.
Then, it carefully places the new translated text block into that exact same spot. And it does this for every single piece of text on every single page of the document.
So this whole reconstruction process just hums along in the background, page by page. And once every single page has been totally rebuilt with the new translated text, this system is finally ready for the grand finale, the final assembly. The finish line is so close.
Okay, final steps. The system gathers up all of those newly created individual pages. It then stitches them all back together in the correct order, creating one brand new, single PDF document. And for the last step, it generates a unique, secure download link that's just for you.
And there you have it. From deconstruction and smart caching all the way to digital surgery and that final assembly. That whole invisible journey is exactly what transforms your one simple click into a perfectly translated document, with the original layout and formatting still completely intact. Pretty cool, huh?
It really makes you think, doesn't it? What other simple clicks in your day are powered by this much hidden engineering? I mean, every time we send an email or post a photo or even just get directions on our phone, there's this hidden world of complex, logical steps firing off behind the screen. It's just a great reminder that what often feels like magic is usually just brilliant engineering at work.